Plot is absolutely critical to the success of your story. Today, before I tell you how to make a great plot, I want to tell you why. Why is plot so important? And you see, the reason for this is actually really fascinating. It's because we aren't ding-dongs. Intelligent creatures require intelligent entertainment. That's why my generation loves Marvel movies so much. The basic outline you will typically see for plots in movies goes something like this. You start with some exposition on your main characters, how their normal life is, maybe a little setup for the plot in there. Then you have an inciting incident, which ties the main character to the plot. Conflict sparks within the character, and the action is on the rise. Stakes are introduced, and we begin to wonder what this journey will cost the main character. Before long, we reach the climax, where the main conflict comes to a head. The main character wins or loses, and the resolution is now primed. We deal with the aftermath as the action falls away, and the loose threads are all tied up with a pretty little bow. Then we have the resolution, closing us out with an introduction to the new normal. This is the traditional story structure and can be very helpful in writing your stories, especially if you're new to the craft. But please, please, please don't think that these rules are actual rules. Especially as you grow as a writer, I would encourage you, if you have an idea that doesn't fit this narrative, write it. Talk to me or other people and just figure out if it works. If you try too closely to follow the rules instead of writing stories the way you see them, you risk spoiling what makes your story special for the sake of fitting in. You risk becoming a forger instead of an artist. Okay, now the most important thing to get right away about plot is that it's boring and lame and it sucks. It's normally not enough to keep an audience engaged all the way through. Tenet proved that concept by having one of the coolest plots ever put to film, but because the main character wasn't really a character and he's just the protagonist, a lot of people don't love the movie. Even halfway through, they introduce this wife character who has her own story, and I mean, really, do you care that the world didn't get destroyed or not? Or did you really just care that after he had treated her so horribly, she won in the end? This is so important because characters are what tie us to the plot. So as you're writing this plot, if it is irrelevant to the characters in your story, and your characters in your story feel like they're irrelevant to us, then your plot is going to be irrelevant by association. As an example, I'd like to use Rapunzel in Tangled, one of the best animated movies ever made. The plot of this movie, simply said, is princess taken, parents sad, family reunion. What ties Rapunzel to this plot? The lanterns do. See, she has this little motivation sandwich where she wants to see the lights. But
The lights, Rapunzel! You are not leaving this tower! Ever!
the lights rope her into the greater story. If you had never seen this movie, you might say that sounds too simple. Simple to the point where it could easily be boring. Well, it's awesome, because we care about the characters who make us care about the plot, because they care about the plot. This allows you to have the most simple plots in existence, and caring about the characters makes it good. Now we're going to introduce your job as a writer, your main goal in plotting a story, and that is conflict. You understand the concept that, as a writer, it is your job to make your characters' lives hard and their goals difficult to reach. If Flynn and Rapunzel just jogged for half a day and walked into the castle, we'd be pretty bored. Instead, we follow Flynn and he meets guards, bad posters, a horse, a tree, frying pan, rabbits, a ruffians, more guards, twin thugs, horses with no respect for good carpentry at all, more twin thugs, water, too much water, evil fake moms, wet horses, more guards, more twin thugs, prison, execution, escape, death, and sacrifice, then the healing power of love. No men with pointy teeth, thankfully. That would have been bad. This is the balance of complexity and simplicity. The more far out your plot is, the more down to earth your characters have to be to reel it all in. Relatability and the final frontier, they're polar opposites, but they kind of work together to create plot. We'll get back to conflict in just a moment, but first I want to explain this relationship between characters and the plot. To do this, we're going to use my favorite movie, Inception. The plot of Inception is quite bizarre and complex. This is a world where people can enter your dreams and steal your secrets using mystical technology and uncanny know-how. Complexity makes up this delicious icing of this cake, but underneath that trim of icing, there is a delicious bread of simplicity. The concept is complex, but they make sure you understand it, then they put a simple story on that complex background that anyone can follow and enjoy. In the end, we all know that the story is not really about the heist. It's about a man getting back to his children. It's something that almost everyone can feel deeply and understand. The complexity satisfies our desire to figure things out and feel smart, and the simplicity satisfies our desire for an emotionally satisfying ending. And I mean, you gotta love the symbolism of the top. You've seen my intro. You see, at this point, if I've done my job right, that complexity and simplicity accent each other and appeal to different sides of our nature. The complexity infatuates us with a movie, but the main character's simple journey keeps us glued to our seats until the end. And in that last moment where he finally is home and he thinks to himself, this can't be real. He spins the top and then he sees his kids. He goes to them and we all know that he came back inside later to find the top lying on its side. Right? Right? So now, even though we have this complex plot, we have this super simple character motivation. And if you get lost in between the layers of plot, that motivation can carry you through and catch you back up again. Now, I say all this, and I don't want to make plot sound unimportant, because it really is. It just has to be tied to the characters properly. Bad plot can make even the best properties feel old and wasted. Like and subscribe to make Season 2 of The Flash the last season of The Flash. Now let's talk about another movie about a father trying to get back to his children. Or, in this case, his child. Or, in this case, his fish. In Finding Nemo, the plot is dead simple. The complexity comes in the execution, because how the heck is a clownfish supposed to traverse the entire ocean and find another clownfish? The complexity comes in the challenges they meet along the way. And the fun comes with the friends they meet along the way. You take this dead simple plot of Finding Nemo, and what makes it interesting? Well...
Hello. Here's Brucey!
Yeah, the journey is a bit complex, but the plot is so simple and full of heart that the movie itself has become a classic. Do you see the pattern? Not once, when you were watching Finding Nemo as a child, did you think, I wonder how this clownfish is gonna cross the ocean? Doesn't make more sense to me. Never crossed your mind. He just swims. He just keeps swimming. But you wanted to see the father get his son back. That's the reason you stayed. The characters. They're the thing that keeps you going, lad. Thank you, exactly. In the side plot of Inception, we come to understand the pain Fisher experiences at his father's heartlessness. People tell him over and over that his father loves him, but he just can't believe it, which is exactly what they need him to do. Then he has his final moment, which is so amazing, and the acting in this scene is so phenomenal. And I've never cried so much about a man being lied to and told that his father actually loves him. Really touching stuff. In all of these examples, the plot has obstacles to overcome, but we stick around to watch because the heart of the story is the character's journey. The plot runs parallel to that. Now, I understand that there are questions you're gonna have and some blanks that need to be filled in. But plot is tied so closely to character that I really couldn't tell you all about plot without talking about character too. Similarly, I'm going to talk about plot a lot in my episode on character. I hate to lead you on like that and sound like someone who's just going, oh, go watch my other videos, but that's kind of how the Jenga Tower fell. Without the character's journey, the plot becomes a lecture. In Tenet, the protagonist's name is the protagonist. But they still give you the story of the villain's wife because he knew that a plot driven simply by plot is not good enough. If we don't have characters to empathize with, then we have no connection to the story. At most, we have an intellectual curiosity. This is why it is famously said that your job as a writer is to make your character's life hard. Mary Robinette talks about the concept of a no-but moment, where your character meets a disappointment, but there is some hope. A yes-but moment, where your character meets some success, but the journey becomes more difficult. A no-and moment, where life sucks and sucks again. And rarely you should use the yes and moment, which is happiness with added happiness. Often that is simply saved for finales. Other than that, your character is Mario trying to get up the hill to Peach, and you are Donkey Kong rolling those barrels down. So that's plot. You weave a story around a character and his or her goals if you want your audience to care about how it ends. Give them challenges galore, because the more pain they go through, the more satisfying the ending is. So how do you make a great plot? It's a simple goal with obstacles galore to overcome. Because the fact is, your audience has things that they want, and those things are often hard to get. Likewise, your characters have things that they want. You're looking to inspire your audience through the efforts of your characters to go out and get the thing that they need. Remember, a bad plot with good characters is always going to be better than a good plot with bad characters. Sorry. So keep on keeping on, keep rolling those barrels, and remember, your plot is about your characters. Your characters are not about your plot. For now, I wish you peace for the present, strength for the future, and the incredible resilience of a giant panda. Till next time.